Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do a video about what Noah was trying to do long ago. Noah was trying to tell everybody about this mass flooding that happened. And when this happened, everybody, a lot of the people, actually nobody listened to Noah. Everybody kind of thought of it as a joke and laughed and kept on drinking and kept on partying. And it's kind of weird because I look at my life and how I try to tell everybody about it because I'm so aware about it. And what made me aware was my conditioning, my teachings all my life, and the life I lived, living amongst angels and learning from them. It's something that's so hard to prove that these angels exist. And some people fear and say, well, the angels could be bad, but when I look back into my past, they prepared me for this event. And I don't think that's bad at all. I think that was very actually good and very positive and lots of light what they did by preparing me and teaching me about how to get ready for these things that were coming. I could go into, tell you a whole bunch about it, but we're not going to go there. Let's just go with. So I know they were good because they prepared me for this, and I'm very thankful that they did prepare me. So here I am in the past year, 2 years, pushing and teaching others to prepare them because I want to give it back. If I didn't give it to you, if I didn't teach you, what kind of person would I be to not tell you guys about it? Be very selfish just to protect myself and not protect all of you guys. The angels told me that 80% of you are not going to listen. That's already been said. It's like 80%. Why are humans so spiritually declined, so weak that they can't look into things and see for themselves and protect themselves, protect their families? Like, why don't they do this? Like, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you guys should just look into it, become more aware. If you become more aware, you're going to protect everybody around you. And that's all I'm asking for you guys to do, so that we can get on this boat together and protect our families, which is very important. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't know how to get you guys there. I don't know how to get more than 20% on that boat, because it's only 20% that are going to make it onto the boat. Humans, spiritually, I always saw them as turtles. I used to complain to the angels and say, why are they such turtles? The metaphor for turtle is very slow. They're like ding, ding, so slow. They don't learn fast. They don't, I guess, they don't really delve into their feelings and try to understand. And they're so focused and tunnel vision about their lives and their own gains that they forget to work on themselves, to delve in and work on their emotions, work on their insecurities, work on their triggers, there's so many things to work on. They don't care. It's a lot of work. People don't want to work hard. That's a big part of it. You need to work hard. If you don't work hard, then you don't really grow. Growth doesn't come from sitting on your butt. Growth comes from someone who's willing and wanting to learn. So when this happens, as I said, it starts as the thunderstorms that leads to the rain, leads to the flooding. And the flooding is going to lead to pollution of water. So that's a big problem. We're going to go through a lot of crisis with water. Mainly water, right? Because all of that. So besides that, I see a new epidemic coming again. And it may be a new variation of the COVID, but it's not coming from COVID itself. People will, believe that, but I don't believe that. I believe that it's being released, just like it was released last time, is what I see. And I see that this new epidemic that comes in the future will come from China again. So that's going to be part of this crack of the earth. Because it's going to put us, it's going to be like one hit after the other. So many hits that how are we going to even manage keeping our mortgages? How are we going to manage keeping our homes? How are we going to manage to feed ourselves? So when this happens, food stores are going to be shut down completely, I believe. I saw empty stores, empty malls, nobody in the parking lot, no cars in the parking lot at all. You go to the parking lot and it's just closed. All the doors are shut down. There's like, it's all barred up with those pillars and you can't even get through. I saw government almost bringing in food and handing out like a thing of water for every family, and maybe who knows what they were giving, bags of rice or whatever. I mean, that's not going to sustain people. People are going to be in panic mode, big time. Almost like angry at that they didn't listen, that they didn't learn, that they didn't see it before it happened. So it's hard to believe right now. I know it's very hard to believe unless you open yourselves, open your hearts while you have the chance. Because if you don't open your heart, you see and understand me with this vanity, and you understand me with ego, and you understand me with pride. And when you do that, you're not going to receive my messages, because you're going to see it from a dark side of yourself. So you need to go to the pure heart inside you to understand me. And then if you go to that humble side, you will understand me and you'll believe me, which will help you. That's all I'm trying to do. Help as many people as I can. The more I can get on this boat, the greater job I did at the end of the day. I want to do a great job at this. I want to get as many people on there and say, look how many I saved. Look how many I helped. This is what I'm trying to do. So anyways, mice infestations will come. That will be a big trigger, big clue to everybody that this water's coming. The government is going to pretend to help you, but at the end of the day, they're not helping you. They're using you. Hard to believe. When I say it, I can feel it off you guys almost. It's like, you're not going to believe me, because who am I? I'm not the president. It's hard to believe it from the little guy, because the little guy is nobody yet. They're going to use you. They're going to ask you to sign over all the money, or let's say a quarter of the money you got. They're going to say, sign this paper, and that you're going to give the percentage of your money to them, and then they'll feed you. This is what they're going to do to get you into that control, because this is what they want. They're going to enslave humans at this time. They're going to use this to enslave us. This is what they're trying to do right now. This is their plan. So I don't want to see humanity get enslaved by them. I want to see that we all become aware and stand up and fight back and say, forget it. We're not going to be your slaves. We're not going to be your slaves. You see, a long time ago, the people think that slavery ended, and it never ended. It evolved. Slavery evolved into something that people don't even see is happening. Slavery's here today. You pay your taxes, 30-something%, and then there's more taxes added on to that when you use the money that you made and you buy stuff with that money. You're paying another 12% tax, GST, PST, and then you're paying house tax and property tax. And once you add it all up, you're paying 50% tax a year, which you guys never put that math together. Put the math together about all the taxes you pay. You're paying 50% tax at the end of the day, which means that 6 months a year you work for the government, which means 6 months a year you're a slave to the government. And only 6 months a year do you make money for yourself and your families, which shows that we're still slaves working 50% a year for the government. So, other things that are going to come is, in some places, the heat. The heat's going to rise so badly, you guys, and it's going to be cracking the land. This massive heat is going to crack the land. Maybe that's the crack that I keep on seeing, but it's because it's going to be so hot. People are going to die from this heat. People aren't going to be able to handle this heat. You're going to have to stay indoors and protect yourselves that way. So we've got it coming from, government. We've got it coming from weather. We've got it coming from animals, like creatures under the ground. Besides all those things, we've got inflated taxes, which is part of the government. We're getting hit on all these different angles. And then after that, it's the crime rate. The crime rate's going to go up substantially, like huge. So now we got it coming from crime as well. We got to watch out for crime. I see people in the future boarding up their windows. It's going to get that bad. Murder's going to go up. Mass suicide is going to go up because people are going to be so stressed out that they can't pay their bills, and suicide's going to go up, who knows, 50% higher, maybe 100% higher. It's going to go up huge. All these things are going to happen. They're all coming. I'm here at the end of the day to always give you guys the insight until you guys start to realize that Blue Dragon has the insight. And that Blue Dragon's just here to protect you and give you that insight so you guys can watch out for what is coming. That's all I'm trying to do. Always give you guys the insight to protect you for what's ahead. And one day I hope you realize that I can see years ahead. And then you can say, you know what? Believe what he's saying. Because he's not for himself, this guy. This guy's out to protect us. That's what this guy's trying to do. Protect you guys. I see it more clear than anybody else. I'll tell you. I see people's illusions. They'll think mine are illusions, but theirs are the illusions. People think the rapture's coming and they're going to be floating up into the sky. You're not going to be floating up into the sky. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I asked them. It's not going to happen. There is no floating into the sky. The metaphor of floating into the sky, again, is you either choose the right side of the line to go up in the air, which means protect yourselves from the flooding, from the darkness, from the negativity, from the mass starvation, from the mass sicknesses. Protect yourselves and be ready. This is going up into the sky, the ones that make it up. And then there's the ones that are down here that didn't believe, didn't use their faith, didn't understand, didn't use their awareness, didn't use their humble heart to protect their families and themselves and learn and grow and realize that we're in this war that started since 2020. 2020 this war began. Carbon tax 2019, 2020 COVID, the beginning of the war, and we're in it. And meanwhile, people are still going to the lake, still going to the bars, still not paying attention, still putting their feet up. And meanwhile, the world's going all the way down, 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 down. And nobody's paying attention. And those ones that don't pay attention are gonna go right down to the bottom and fall hard. And trust me, I know they will suffer in the future. They will be so sad that they didn't get ready, they didn't prepare, and they'll suffer. The suffering's gonna be beyond anything. And I asked the angels, I says, are people gonna learn? Like, are people gonna actually learn in the future? After this meltdown? And they said, they'll learn a little bit, they told me. Humans will learn a little bit, because learning is about falling. Because when people fart, then they ask a question. Where did I go wrong? What should I have done? And then they learn a little bit. But that's hard to do for humans. It's hard for them to hold that weight and say, oh, I went wrong this way, I went wrong this way, It's hard for them to do that. They can only do it for so much time. And eventually, after 2 weeks of, blaming themselves. They don't want that negative energy in them. So they justify it in a positive way to get rid of that weight, which to me, don't just do it for 2 weeks. Do it for a whole year and keep on shedding that skin and learning at the bottom as you've fallen, and learn where did you go wrong, and keep on saying it for a whole year so you learn more insight, so that never again will you ever fall, because you've strengthened yourself for a whole year, not just 2 weeks of that sorry, repent. Do it for a whole year. Humans have a tendency of spoiling themselves. They always want something to make them feel happy. Sometimes you should have things that make you feel sad, so that this way you realize where you go wrong. Strengthen your soul. Do it now, because later you have no more chance again. You see, in this life, here we are. Our test is here. We are being tested. And if you don't take that test and your life passes you by and you've never done any of this growth or spiritual strengthening, then one day when you go up, you're going to say, I wasted all my time on earth and I never really learned much. And then the test is over and there's a certain spot that you get placed in heaven. And it depends on the level that you made it at down here, because you're being watched. Don't forget it. The watchers, it's a true story, are watching you, the angels, and they put you in a category of a level that you're at. So don't be at that lower level. Strengthen yourself. Get to the highest level you can, so that when you make it up to heaven, they will put you in a higher position, because you did the work. You worked hard down here to get there. To do the work, you need to get rid of the negatives inside you to make more room for more light inside you. They call it a lantern in the Bible as an example. Make your lantern full of light down here, which is doing righteous acts. That's one way to do it. Think about all the positives that you can do to create your lantern, to make your lantern strong, full of light. So think about good acts that you can do towards the planet that will strengthen that lantern. Strengthen your light. That's what you're supposed to do. Are you going to bet on God, or are you going to bet on the devil? Ask yourself that question. Do you bet that God exists, or do you bet that there's no such thing? Your choice. And you will live by that choice when you die. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.